trying to make me not do it? What is going on?" So they said, "Yeah, they don't want to ship the soil test because that's bad for the environment." I was like, I still don't understand it.
I
I've
don't
never
either.
worked it out. So that was kind of what turned me off completely.
You are listening to the Lawns and Life podcast, a show built for DIYers who like to learn, grow, and have a little bit of fun along the way. My name is Devin. I am the DIY lawn coach, and thank you so much for coming back for another week. Well, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, maybe recharged the batteries just a little bit. By now, all of the leftovers should be over and gone. It's probably one of my favorite parts of Thanksgiving, if I'm being perfectly honest. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for coming back for another week. I have got a really good podcast planned for us today. I got my really good buddy Rich, the lawn mechanic, on, and we talked about Sunday lawn care. And I really wanted to find out from him if it's a scam or not. I see a lot of ads and commercials and things for it, and he has some experience with Sunday lawn care. So I got to sit down with him. We talked about Sunday, what it is, what it isn't, and he really answered the question, is it a scam? So want to say thank you to Rich for coming on the podcast. But first, before we do anything, let's do this week's Mindful Moment.
It can be hard to slow down and notice things in a busy world. Mindful Moments is where we pause for a moment to reflect on the here and now. After all, life is happening now. We simply need to take time to notice. These small yet profound experiences remind us that life is not about the destination, but the journey we take to get there.
So this week's Mindful Moment, I've got a really good friend of mine who goes to my church and is in construction. And he was telling me a story about how they were doing a job building a home. And one of the neighbors had called in a complaint to his supervisor and said that they were leaving in the evenings, leaving the site dirty, I guess, just leaving tools and trash and things laying around and just equipment and stuff like that. So naturally, him and his boss, they go out to the site to kind of examine everything and see what's going on. And while it wasn't quite as bad as what the gentleman had said that it was, at the end of the day, it's a construction site. There is trash laying around. There were tools laying around, equipment. It was muddy. They had staged some cinder blocks and things like that, some construction equipment that they were using. But at the end of the day, it's a construction site. It's not clean, if you will. Well, what this got me thinking about is sometimes in our lives, when God is working on us as individuals, sometimes the construction process is kind of dirty and it's not clean as others would maybe want it to be or how we would want it to be. So, if you're going through something or you've got something going on in your life, and things just aren't perfect, maybe that's God's working on you. Maybe you're under construction. Once these guys get this house built and they get it all nice and neat and they put down their sod and they get the driveway paved and they got the roof on and the plants and the shrubbery and all that stuff, and that house is complete, that house is gonna look really nice. But it's messy. It's a mess getting to that point. And sometimes in our lives, God is working on us and we're not finished. We're in the middle of that construction site. And so while others may look at us, or maybe we look at ourselves and we see everything that is wrong, we're just under construction. And one day when when we're done being worked on and the construction site is cleaned up and it's back to normal, we're going to be looking great and we're going to get things back to normal. But sometimes in our lives, when God is working on us, we're just under construction. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this week's Mindful Moment. I'm going to play the interview with Rich. So I hope you guys enjoy it and learn a little bit more about Sunday lawn care. What's up, Rich? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
You doing
How's
good?
everything?
You doing good? Hey, it's been a while, man. Been trying to get you on here for a long time. You're a busy man. You're a hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
So
So,
what's
um,
new?
so I wanted to get you on today. Something I've been thinking about. I've been doing these real talks on my other channel, and it's done really, really well. And I know you and I have kind of been going back and forth about maybe a scam, if you will. I don't know if it's a scam or not, but I just want to talk about it with you. I know you've got some firsthand experience with Sunday Lawn Care, and I'm not trying to put them on blast. That's not what this is about. I just, I get a lot of. It shows up in my Facebook feed. I get a lot of emails on Sunday Lawn Care. And talking to you, I know that you've used it, and I just want to get your thoughts about Sunday Lawn Care. So, are you good to talk about that and kind of maybe
Yeah,
inform people
sure.
about what it is and what it isn't?
Well, I definitely can tell you my experience. I'm
All
not
right.
sure if I'm going to be the leader of this whole thing, but my experience with Sunday has been good and bad. I personally, you can get good results with it. So that's just a disclaimer right off the top. Be it
So
a scam or not,
so
on
let's
how
let's let's first okay. So let's. I mean, I hate to even call it a scam, right? But let's first define what a scam is. So I went and Googled the word scam. Scam says a dishonest scheme to gain money from someone fraudulently. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever been scammed before. I'll tell you a quick story. So my wife had a car. It was getting kind of up there in age, and we were going to trade it in. I don't, if you ever bought and sold a car with your wife, how did that experience go? Right. So
I have to tell
once
you.
you start the process, man, like I don't know how if your wife is like mine, but once we started, like it was you jump in. There's no going back, right? So we were car shopping and we came across a vehicle, really nice vehicle. It was used, and after driving, we traded in my wife's car, and after driving it for about 3 or 4 months, we started to notice a lot of problems. It was a Kia Sorento, and this is not anything against Kia, but just things started popping up. I mean, all these little sensors started going wrong, and just stuff started happening. And we take it into the dealer, get it serviced. A week later, another something would happen, right? And so that's really really frustrating. We bought the car thinking, again, it's a used car, but you still don't expect to have to go through all the things we were going through. I mean, we went back and forth the dealer probably over a year, probably 10, 12 times, and felt like we got scammed. We felt like, what we were being sold on this vehicle wasn't what the dealer, told us that we were buying. And so it's really frustrating when you buy something and the expectation isn't what you thought it was. And I have never used Sunday Lawn Care. You have, and so uh, again, the conversation I want to have with you today is it a scam? Are they fraudulently telling you things, making you believe something that maybe isn't true? I don't know. Let's talk about it. So, how long has it been since you had Sunday Lawn Care? What
Well,
what
I
made you
started.
go ahead?
Well, hey, what made me grab onto them is the way they package it, right? They package it, it's all green and it looks good, and you read it and it says that they're that their concept is that they're better than everyone else, better than synthetics, and this is safe for your kids, safe for your dogs, safe for your family. So it implies that this is pretty organic. This is going to be great. This is all natural. So what they do is they do that play on the natural and organics. So if you do a search on organics and natural, it'll explain right away what the difference is. So natural and non-harming to kids and organics is completely different. You could take a synthetic and market it as safe for children
And that's
at a
exactly
certain
what
dose.
they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Exactly, 100%. And it doesn't mean they're a bad company. Like I said, it gave me good results. But the part that bothers me so much about that is they're giving you great results and you think you're doing something good for the environment, which you essentially, if you're putting lower amounts, you are in a slight way, but it's kind of like a play on words. It's just kind of, I think if you're an average Joe coming down the aisle and you said, "Oh, look at this! It looks like seaweed squeezed in a bag. Let's squirt this on the lawn, and look how green it's getting. I can't believe it. I'm using all organics." It's not organics. It has some organics. They put it in there because they have to, you know, put some ingredients in it so they're not lying to you. But if you have to be very careful reading any product really that you put on the lawn. You should be, if you're gonna try to stay with organics, try to read and make sure it says organics, because they have to, like, fully organic. They can't get away with saying organic, because what they're doing is that, like I said, they're playing with words.
It doesn't matter what you buy. Every company that's just trying to sell you something is trying to point out the maybe some differences in what they do versus their competition, right? Like there's that's not groundbreaking news. So when they make a claim, for example, they don't use any glyphosate, they don't use any bifenthrin, they don't use any imidacloprid. They're safe for kids. I mean, they're really trying to pull on some of your heartstrings, um, and get you that feel good vibe of what you're doing is good for the environment. And that might be true, and it's some of it's advertising, which is not a bad thing. But what I feel like they're doing is playing on people who aren't as, I don't want to say uneducated, but just just don't understand what it is that they're buying. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you look, sometimes they market that it's no pesticides. Who puts pesticides when you're fertilizing?
Right.
Fertilizer and pesticides are completely different, but they'll market it that they would never put harsh pesticides in. I don't think
So
too many people put harsh pesticides in fertilizer.
so they use I Googled, or I got their emails and checked out their website. And a lot of times what they say is they'll use like traditional lawn care. They'll say, if you use traditional lawn care, then you're putting all these harsh chemicals on your lawn. Well, I guess my first question is, well, what is traditional lawn care? Who says what traditional lawn care is? Is that a lawn care company? How do you know that? Again, I know what they're trying to do, but if someone who doesn't know and is just buying into that thinks, oh, I'm doing something good. I'm not using harsh chemicals. Well,
Right. Well,
what is
one of the
define that
saying
for me?
their major saying is get a lush green lawn of your dreams without the harsh chemicals.
What does
But
that even
there is
mean? I
there
like
is no definition.
right.
That's that's what they're playing on.
Okay, so you signed up for their program, and then what? Like, did you have to measure your lawn? Like, how
That's
did
what they
that?
do. That's another whole thing. So what they're doing is they're using the same conventional way of measuring a lawn, and they make it like it's some way they're zooming down on you with a satellite. They make it think that it's a custom. It's the same exact program. They're most of their programs are all the same. They're just giving it per square footage. So you square down on an image, you measure it, you feel like you're getting a custom plan, and you're going to get the same type of plan everyone else gets. Then they promote, we'll give you a fertile a soil
Soil test?
test.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what my big joke was. This is what totally turned me off to them. So the next year came, I did a soil test, and we were supposed to be correcting my soil. So I forget what they told me I needed, and said they were helping me with it. But nothing changed. There was no product change. I noticed that the bags were coming through the same, everything was coming through the same. So I said, let me check let me check it again with another soil test because you're supposed to get one every year.
Okay,
So
so can I stop you for a second? So
sure.
soil test, what are they testing for? What did you get the results back from that soil test?
Yeah, it was pretty vague. It was just the basics. It wasn't anything, but they didn't tell you what to do after that. They just told you pretty much they're going to handle it. So you get
Okay,
this,
but what are they
right?
testing for? Is it nitrogen, phosphorus? Are they testing your
Yeah,
pH?
yeah, all the basics. Just not. It didn't look. I don't have it in front of me right now. It's been like a few years ago, but it was all pretty much the basic test.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anything to tell you, you need to do this or do that. Like there's been a few companies, at least they send you when you're done with your soil test, they'll send you a little thing telling you what you could do to amend the soil to try to get it where it needs to be. They'd give you that information. So I felt like, all right, let me test it again and see if it comes through with all green checks, right? And I was looking in the box and I'm like, where is the soil test? So I call them up and and I've mentioned this before to you, I think. I, I called them up and I said, I need a soil test. It says that I get one. They go, no, we don't do that anymore. And I says, well, what do you mean you don't do it? No, you could buy it, but we don't give it away free because it's not very good for the environment. And I'm like, well, how do you connect that? That I didn't understand it. I said, all right. So, and I honestly said to him, I said, listen, so if I buy it, how much better is it for the environment? What, are you trying to make me not do it? What is going on? So they said, yeah, they don't want to ship the soil test because that's bad for the environment. I was like, I still don't understand it.
I
I've
don't
never
either.
worked it out. So that was kind of what turned me off completely. Now, that said, I mean, I got good results because they're giving you slight amounts of what you're supposed to use. We know that. But to sell it as if it's organic is definitely an issue.
So then you sign up for the program, you did the soil test, you get boxes every month, every 2, 3 months, like how, and they're all liquids.
It's quarterly, it's all liquids, and they have, different names on everything. You don't even know what you're putting on. It tells you when you get it, you spray this now, and in a couple weeks, you spray this.
Okay.
You have no
So
clue.
let's back up for a second. Okay. So what made you like, what were you doing in lawn care before Sunday came along? Were you doing your own stuff? Were you applying anything to the lawn at that point?
Honestly, I was going with the Scott's program, the four, when I was doing synthetics. I was doing you buy it once a year, you get all the bags in your house. It's all there. You just go, you grab it, you fertilize, and you have pretty good lawn. I mean, you get good results from that.
Yeah. It's all granular, right?
Correct.
Yep. So and Sunday is an all liquid program. So did you ever sprayed anything in your lawn before? Like were you comfortable spraying your lawn?
Well, the spraying was really easy. So they have a great program for ease, right? That's what they're selling. They're selling convenience. They're selling it comes to your doorstep. You don't have to remember anything. You spray it. The part that I don't like is that they're trying to put it off as it's very good for the environment, and which really it's the same. It's competitive.
Who says what's good for the environment or not? I mean, I understand. I mean, I would think doing a soil test and not applying things to the lawn that are unnecessary would be beneficial to the environment. So I still don't understand why they told you that having a soil test wasn't good for the
That's right.
environment.
That
Yeah.
was the whole idea. That was why I got so upset. I was like, well, this is the only way you're going to govern what you're using on the lawn, right? How do they even know? They should almost make it mandatory. If they're worried about the environment, that soil test should be mandatory to keep that service going. And then that
So
would show some intent.
knowing what you know now, you were probably applying nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Were there any weed control products in there?
No, they didn't do any weed control. And I asked them what that was about. And there are companies out there that give you all natural, right? We keep saying this natural word, all natural. So then they give you the all natural weed control, but they didn't do it. They didn't give anything.
So
They
they do
told you,
now. I looked up now. Now they have an all natural weed control now. Um, but they didn't have that back when you were
Well, I
using their
think they
program.
said it was a spray, just a spray on the weed, right? Or is it overall? Are they doing like a gluten or something?
Well, they okay. So they have a pre-emergent program now, which is a gluten. Is it soy? It's like a soy gluten based
Like corn,
corn.
oil?
Yeah. They do have some weed control products, but from my understanding, it's not a spot control. It's a broadcast control. Again, I'm not trying to pick on them. I just
I actually like, the results of this product is going to work. We're not bashing the product at all. It's just the deception if people are out there looking for organics and things that are good for the lawn in comparison to what you would normally buy. My argument is what you normally buy on in the store, the box store, compared to Sunday at the right amounts are almost identical. Almost identical. So they're selling themselves as if they're putting seaweed in a bag.
mhm.
And that's just not something that's true. And they sell it at a premium, you
So
know.
how long were you on the program?
2 years. 2 years I was on the program. That was kind of like the beginning of my journeys. So that's what one thing they did do, and I owe it to them, is they turned me on to liquids because liquids is a different level. I mean, granules has its place. We always use, you use them, I use them,
hmm
but liquids is definitely where it's at, right? I think liquids really, really is the bump to the next stage.
I almost like I know we're kind of bashing them a little bit, and not really, but I think that it's also what they do really well is they're kind of like a gateway drug, if you will, right? Because they make it easy. There's the barrier to entry is really um, is seamless. You feel like you're not gonna hurt anything. I think back to when I was first starting out getting in lawn care. One of the biggest fears that I had was I was going to hurt something. I was going to do something wrong. And so what they do really well is market themselves towards someone who just isn't sure. I don't know what to apply when or how much, and they really take a lot of that guesswork out of it. Like you said, you get some results. You kind of start getting confident about it. Um, and it's kind of the gateway drug to then you get off of that program and now you're full-fledged, really looking at your lawn and you feel good about it and you got a little bit of confidence. So I got to give them props on that. They do a really good job with that. um, so
Convenience,
what
and they'll answer the phone. Two things
yeah,
they'll do. A
yeah.
lot of convenience. They answer the phone. They're just big into marketing. So I guess that's where it kind of blurs the lines, right?
So you what was the final straw that made you cancel and just move on? Like, what was it?
The cost. What happened is they kept sending me sprayers that weren't working well, and then we kind of get into a back and forth about saving your sprayer because it's good for the environment thing. They kept using that phrase, oh, we don't send new sprayers because we don't want to send too many because it's good for the environment not to send that much. You need to save it. And then don't send soil tests because it's good for the environment. Save it. And it was just getting annoying. It was like, I need to do my lawn. I don't need to fight these fights. And you're actually making me pay. You'll let me pay for the nozzle, but it's good for the environment for you not to supply it. I just didn't see the comparison. So
How hard was the canceling process? Was it easy, hard? They give you a hard time?
pretty pretty simple. They were, like I said, good company, good customer service, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't even mind the product. It's just if you're looking for organics and you're looking for, this is almost we're probably upselling them, which is probably a good idea because they don't, they're not terrible. Synthetics aren't always bad. If they're put on the lawn at the right rate, they're not terrible. Everybody has this misconception that if you put synthetics, you're killing everything. It's not true. That's why they're able to label safe for kids, safe for pets. If you use the right amount, it's okay.
Right. I mean, we talked about this earlier. They don't use glyphosate, bifenthrin, or imidacloprid. I mean, if you use any of those products, the right way, they're not harm. I mean, they're not harmful
And I
if you use the proper precaution. I mean, even if you use some of these organic stuff. I mean, you're not like you don't want to ingest it. You don't want to breathe it in. That can't be good for you.
didn't they genetically alter almost all of our food to put glyphosate on it? I mean,
Hmm.
if you don't clean, am I right or wrong? I
Yeah,
may be.
you're right.
I'm pretty
Absolutely. Yeah.
sure I'm right on that one. They genetically modify our food so they can spray it with chemicals so the bugs won't attack it, and they actually have it on almost every ingredient. So yeah, there's like a battle between if it's safe, if it's not safe. I don't believe it is, but and we know that somewhat poisoning our food source, but in reality, at the right amounts, obviously, they deem it safe.
You're talking glyphosate. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even like bifenthrin. I mean, yes, that is a pesticide. It is designed to kill pests. If not done properly, yes, it could be dangerous. But um, again, we're trying to kill a living organism, so naturally, too much of it or not handled properly is going to be harmful to somebody, right? It just seems logical to me. Um, so you canceled the plan, then what'd you do? You just started taking care of your lawn. Like, what was the next
Yeah.
step for you?
Well, I hit YouTube. I hit
Okay.
YouTube. Started looking around, looking for different things, and then sampling myself, becoming what you might call my own scientist. I took things at a small amount, tested it, and seen what worked. Then I got into this whole thing of trying to get the soil right and not really going for the burst of green right out of the gate, trying to play the time, trying to play for the long run, play for the long game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, really, to tell you the truth, this is the first year ever, man. Right now, my grass is the best it's ever looked at this time of the year, and I'm hoping at in spring, I'm hoping I'm paid off dividends because last year I pounded in, all these different blitzes and everything, and I got my lawn green all the way past December, and I was all proud of myself. And then I came right into the spring with all kind of fungus. You remember all those problems I
Mm-hmm.
had?
Mm-hmm.
So I worked on soil all year long. That's all I worried about. And I was able to plant. I had spots, so I took down a tree recently and I planted in the cold. It snowed. I went out there the other day. It's all the bluegrass even came in. I can't believe it. It wasn't even just the ryegrass. So the soil, if the soil's right and it's ready for uptake, if all the roots are uptaken and the soil is correct, man, it really explodes. That's how you get a good lawn, and that's going to be my new journey is soil, 100%.
I think something else going back to Sunday. I read a statistic that said that the average homeowner makes one fertilizer application a year, which you and I both know that's not enough, right? Like usually it's spring that they make their application. So we're talking about Sunday and what they do well. You and I both know the importance of consistency, right? Like one fertilizer application is not going to make you have a nice lawn, but four is better than one, and eight is better than four. So you have to feed it. You have to reduce the weeds, all the things that, I mean, you talked
That's
about
good.
getting good results. Yeah, if you're applying fertilizer 4 to 6 times a year, you're taking care of the weeds, you're paying it attention. Well, it's no wonder you're going to get good results, right? You go from maybe one application a year to four. Yeah, you're going to get some good results.
Yeah, I think like I said, they're very good at that. So this isn't a bashing video on them. This
Mm-hmm.
is just to make sure you choose wisely. If that's what you want and you want consistency and to try to get into this and to try it out, that's definitely a gateway right into
Mm-hmm.
it. It definitely will get you lawn better. And they're not selling nothing. They're selling a product that
Mm-hmm.
actually makes your lawn green and grows
Mm-hmm.
and everything works out. They even sell seed. If you wanted to stay just in their ecosystem and not get it outside and you don't want to be bothered with anything, it's the easiest application possible. I mean, you put it on their sprayers which are junk, by the way. Their sprayers are terrible. It's some one word of advice. I'll give you one word of advice. Call them up immediately and ask them what's their mixture rate and buy a sprayer. and just put it on. If you're going to go that route, at least a hand sprayer, right? One of
Mm-hmm.
those ones that go
Yeah.
on the hose, and ask them what to dial it at and put it in, because their sprayers and that bag system just does not work, and you don't ever know if it works. There's no way to see the feed coming out. So that's one word of advice. If you're going to go with them, for sure, use the sprayers, and then just because they tell you this bag goes on this part of the lawn. So what you should do is just put a little, a little speed in it, get it on the lawn, do a light coating, and go back and keep doing it, because they'll give you the rates. Like I said, that customer service is excellent. They'll answer the phone.
So the bags are not clear. You can't see how much liquid is in there. You're spraying and you don't know how, if you're at 50% left or 30% left. Is that
You
what you're
you
saying?
could see it, but you don't see the suction. The suction
Okay.
hose doesn't draw all the time, and if you open the bag just a crack and let air in, it seems to work better. It's almost like a mist design of some sort.
Hmm.
So what I used to do when I sprayed it, I used to loosen the bag completely, almost on like two threads, so it doesn't splash on the lawn and fall
Mm-hmm.
off. Obviously, you got to be careful; you'll burn it, even though it's light. It's a very light fertilizer.
Yeah.
That's actually their spiel, right? You can't ruin it as a homeowner. You could probably put it all in half the size of what they're telling you, and you won't see any burn. That's
Yeah.
what they're staying away from. But yeah, if you crack the bag a little bit and then spray it, it seems to come out better. But I just got so fed up, and between having to pay for the extra sprayer or them not sending it and telling me to save it from last year, that was like a mess. So I just bought my own sprayer, and that's what moved me on to
Mm-hmm.
using hose end sprayers and understanding them. So
I say this a lot. I want more people in lawn care, not less. So if Sunday is what helps people overcome the fear or worry of doing something wrong or harming something, then that's great. I love it, but I'm sure I haven't done the cost breakdown, but I'm sure it can't be cheap, right? It just, you,
I forget what it was. It was a big hit in the beginning of the year, but if you're gonna, it's compatible to like a Scott's program. It's just in a bag form, and the neat thing is it shows up on your when it shows up, you put it out. The Scott's, you buy it, you put it in your house. They have an app that tells you when to put it out, but nobody watches that. It's
mm-hmm.
just but when it shows up at your house, you get excited, you open it and it says, "Put this one on now and this one in a couple weeks." It's kind of cool. I mean, like I said, we're not bashing them. They did a good I I almost think for the first year or so, if you're going to get into lawn care and you're going to try to get your lawn up to date and get it going, by all means, start out with that, and then when you start researching and understanding what you're putting down, you definitely won't harm the lawn.
Where I take issue though is when you say that, like we talked about in the beginning, that you're doing something good for the environment, that traditional lawn care is bad, we're good, we're better for the environment. You know, Putting down synthetics are bad, using some, other products are bad and we're good. I don't, I totally disagree with that. But I also understand as a newcomer, as somebody who doesn't understand, like those are buzzwords. Those are what they like to hear, and that makes
Organic,
them
man.
feel
All you
good.
gotta do is throw organic in anything, or all natural. And natural's not even a word that they monitor. Natural could be put on anything. Everything's natural.
Right.
It's an easy word to swing, right?
So would you call it a scam? Would you say what they're doing is scamming people? Are they in the
I
traditional
think
sense?
I think at the level of being new into the lawn care, they're scamming people to believe that it's much better than every other product right out of the gate, which is their marketing. They're marketing that I'm better, I'm safer,
Yeah.
and I don't believe that, and they're playing with words like organic, and they're trying to say that they're better without proving it.
I would agree. I would 100% agree with that. I think that if you're leading people to think one thing, that and taking their money for it, again, you're going to get results. if you're feeding your lawn, you're consistent about it, yes, you're going to get results. But it's how you're saying, it's how you're portraying yourself, that I don't agree with. So
Well, how do you say the word? Use the word safer. It's safer than what? Traditional.
what does that even
Traditional
mean?
what? It doesn't there's no bound.
That's right.
That's totally false. It's not safer because if you took the same amount of that and used traditional and did the exact same amount of the ingredients because they don't do anything different than a lot of traditional, it's not safer. It's the same. It's just in, of
Yeah.
course. So if I cut my fertilizer in half with traditional, then am I considered safer?
Right. Yeah. Yes. By
Yes.
by their definition, yes. Yeah,
Right. But if
that's right.
somebody doesn't understand what they're doing or what they're talking about, it's not safer than synthetics. It's just less.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
organics is safer by far, I think. Doesn't work 99% of the times as good. We agree, right? I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
takes a very long time to get organics to work on a lawn. You have to be very patient.
Agreed. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, but that's not always a bad thing. I don't view that necessarily as a bad thing.
No,
So.
that's where I'm at. I'm committed. I'm committed to try organics. Humic acid, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
humic. There's always things on the edge too, right? You got to be careful what you say because some of them they have they do the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like iron is really not an organic. Iron's not an organic, but people spray it down like it's the safest thing in the world. Am I right or wrong? I mean, it could be.
Well, I don't. I honestly don't know. Iron. I mean, iron is natural, right? But it's not. I can't
Right,
imagine it being organic. It's an element. It's a mineral. It's not.
right.
Uh, Organic means it comes from the earth. It by definition it's organic. It's not synthetic. It's not man made. It's natural. So
Exactly,
I
exactly.
don't I don't know where you blur the lines on all that stuff. And I'm not. Uh, to me, it's like I don't need to get caught up in the weeds and all that. No, no, no pun intended. Right? Like it doesn't. That stuff doesn't. I'm not gonna battle somebody, on the internet about what the difference is or why it matters or any of that. Like that's not.
Exactly. Even our
You know.
conversation is about just what you're telling people, not really what way anyone should go.
Right. Yep.
I'm no
Yep.
people. I hate when people do that. There is no hierarchy because you do something differently. We all care.
100%.
Trust me.
Yep.
People that are
Yep.
putting down synthetics care. They're
Mm-hmm.
not. They're not. Not everyone is here to hurt the environment and hurt people, and everyone cares. I feel. I have faith in people.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to do the right thing. So that's not the argument.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on and talking to me. Like I said, I think that I, I, I think there's a place and a person for Sunday. I don't think it's for everybody, but I don't think that they're trying to be for everybody. That they what they do well. I just thought it'd be interesting to get on here and kind of get your thoughts as somebody who's actually used their product and I appreciate you coming on and talking to me.
It was a pleasure.
Yep.
Product's good product. It's just the way they market it.
Yep. Yep. Take care, buddy. See ya.
All right. So on.
All right, guys. So I want to say thank you again to Rich for taking the time to come on the podcast. I really do appreciate his time. Hopefully, you learned something a little bit about Sunday Lawn Care. And again, Rich and I were not trying to bash them. It was just something that I've seen and something that I'm hearing a lot of people talk about in the forums and different things on my private Facebook group. And so I thought, hey, let's get somebody with some firsthand knowledge on the show. As I mentioned, I think that Sunday Lawn Care definitely has its place. Is it for everybody? No. But again, as I said, I think the more people we get into lawn care, the better off that we're going to be. And so maybe this is just that Sunday lawn care is just the jumping off for folks. It just kind of gives them the confidence that they need to get into lawn care. So I just wish they'd do it a little bit different. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Leave me a comment if you've got a question about it. Leave me it down below. I'll ask Rich to make sure he checks in on the comment section and he can help answer any questions that you guys have. Thank you so much for coming back for another week. I hope you guys will enjoy your week. I'll see you guys in the next one. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY lawn coach, and I cannot wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.